crown like Braun, yeah. Make it some and I'm spending some. What's the plan? Bet I get it done. It's me, yeah, neighborhood. It's me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here of Point League Basketball Talk. As always, you have your main host here, Andrew, and I have my co-host with me today, Gibson. Gibson, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good?
Yep.
Solid answer. So, big things around the league this week. Enormous week, in my opinion. We had crazy games in our week action here on Wednesday. And let's just go ahead and get this out of the way because this is already going to be a topic. Let's talk about the dunk. We all know what we're talking about here. The Gavin poster on Brevin. So if you haven't seen the dunk yet, go ahead, exit this video, and go watch top 10 plays of this last week. Skip to number 1, and you will know exactly what we are talking about. But Gavin, he put the shades on, and he threw down one of...
I think putting the shades on made it even better.
If that was not... That had to be... Now, was that dunk better than the one on Dion?
Yeah.
Like, the whole gym erupted in my...
Yeah, I feel like the video doesn't do the justice of the actual environment, like, just how crazy everyone went.
The mic doesn't, like, pick up enough sound, but, like, literally, like, everybody went crazy.
Yeah, and
like,
on the cameras you can't see the whole stand,
no.
But like literally everybody jumped out of their seat and was like running around on the court around the court.
It was pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie. But what was your thoughts when you saw that? Because we watched it back on the cameras today, and you were just like chilling on the wall, and then you just like got an extra pep in your step. So what was going through your mind?
Well, yeah, I'm just going kind of back and forth, being the best ref I can be, Shout out to Wyatt.
Yeah.
And usually the kids make some pretty good plays, but
I don't think
it takes a little bit to impress me. And when I saw Noah going and I saw him put it off the backboard at first, I was like, what is he doing?
Right.
And then I saw Gavin coming in, and I saw Brevin, and I was like, Brevin,
Brevin,
move out of the way, man.
I honestly just was not expecting it. Like, it just happened out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was good.
But shout out to Gavin, Brevin. We talked with the photographers. We'll have that poster being sent your way real soon, so make sure you're on the lookout for that. But looking at the games this week, what a great week of games. We had a lot of new players come in. Boy, the Dreamers still going. We're on a 7-game win streak right now. We lost the first game of the season. Have not lost a game since then. I think this is our year, man.
Yeah,
I think this is our year.
He says that every year, so
I got Thomas back. Me and Thomas always bring the chip to the city. But looking at the teams right now, and I have them up here on the computer as well. What are some teams right now that you think that you're worried about? So we'll take a look at your team right now. We'll also give a shout out to some of your guys' stats. So you got AB right now with 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 steals. Brevin, who you just traded for and who tends to get postered quite frequently now.
Hey, he was dunking on people too.
51 points, 18 rebounds, 11 assists, 9 steals, and 6 blocks. That's pretty good numbers in my opinion.
See, I think Brevin is a team first type guy.
Right.
He's passive until something like that happens. Like right after, the clip was crazy, but like what a lot of it, like if you watch the rest of that game, our team lost, but like he started dunking on everyone.
He could take over when he's very unselfish.
But he is capable of taking over, and that's something that I have to, remind him of like, hey, you can still balance it out. You don't need to be passive all the time.
Right.
So.
And that's one thing I'm gonna give a shout out to my team. Like, teams right now are getting so frustrated because they cannot get dubs right now. Like, take a look at my team. Like Thomas and Braylon, Devin, like all those guys, even Jackson I just picked up. They're great players, but they're not necessarily like in the MVP race right now. But like, look at the way that they're playing.
They're good for the team.
Like,
the team,
all of them are having fun playing with each other. They move the ball. They don't. If somebody's hot, they give them the ball. Like, I feel like too many players right now are finding the stats and stuff that doesn't matter, and like that's fine. But like, if you look at the Dreamers right now, I said, hey, I went up to my guys. I was like, do you think we should make any trades? They're like, no. Keep it the same.
Yeah.
Even when I've had opportunities to get all-star players in return, they're like, no, keep it.
Hey,
And it shows in the record.
One thing I'll say about Thomas's game as this season, he has improved his driving ability,
Yes,
getting to the hoop. He's knowing how to use his body better, and he's getting to the hoop a lot better. Before, Thomas was a flopping machine,
Yes.
and you'd barely bump him, and he just
Fall.
he like led the league in most times on the ground.
Kind of similar to Jack.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to Jack. Love you, Jack. But yeah, like I think a lot of players right now, like that's why they're getting traded so much, because they're not about winning right now. They're too much about the stats, and we only have one more week before playoffs, so teams got to figure it out because there's not a lot of trades left on the board right now. But
I have 0.
right. And also you also didn't have Cole play for you. I think he might have left a little early, but you got a pretty solid team with Nathan, Cole, Jack, Brevin, Ollie, Braylon, Tony, AB.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it.
You think you'll be all right come playoff time? I think you guys will be a little bit of a sleeper team come playoff time.
Yep.
Looking at the Eagles squad, I think they're going to start making some noise. They just made a big trade with Noah Haley.
Yeah, that was big.
That was a big trade. Now, we had to kind of separate that Noodle squad because I don't even...
It was Peyton,
that was like,
Noah, and Gavin.
That was like prime like Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Like vibes.
I was like the Heatles.
Like,
that was the big 3.
Like, yeah, you couldn't stop it. Like, they were blowing teams out 40-9.
Yeah.
Like, just couldn't do it. But they got a new big 3 over there with Liam, Caden, and Noah. How do you think that's going to work?
We'll see. I mean, I think...
And Xavier.
They have
Xavier when he
potential to
comes.
be good, but I mean, it just all depends on guys' attitudes and if they really want to win or share the ball, or if they just are in it for the highlights and the stats.
I think Noah's going to have to lead this team. I think he's got great players with Liam and Caden, but I think Liam and Caden are very similar players, and they want the stats, they want the numbers, they want the awards. I think this trade was good for them because I think Noah's really going to dial them in and turn them into a winning team. They are currently the worst team in the league, as they will actually play my team come playoff time if they stay where they're at.
Because Noah's actually, I've watched him in actual organized basketball, and Noah's actually a pretty decent leader.
Right.
I think maybe get them to come together.
I think that he'll get them to come together, and especially if Xavier comes, they're going to be dangerous. That's like a sleeper team, so I'm actually kind of nervous to play them if we end up playing them. But I think if this team can get their like chemistry down, dangerous, because you can get guys like CJ, Trey, Carter, Walker out like on the 3-point line.
All those guys that fill in the cracks.
Right, like great, solid. They got one of the best rosters I think in the league.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Noodle Squad here. Noodle Squad. You see that number that I'm looking at right now?
Yeah.
Gavin leading. I'm pretty sure he's leading in every single category besides steals and blocks. He's got 131 points on the season, 39 rebounds, 19 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks.
Yeah.
Monster.
Their teams need to start game planning for him better when it comes. I think last week they game planned for him well, where I thought, Gavin still got a few buckets, but when Cole was on him or they double teamed him a bunch, he struggled because Gavin is also the type of, he's not going to be shooting outside shots.
Right, no.
He's not much of a ball
handler. If they just kind of back off on him, kind of like a Russell Westbrook vibe, like you've seen what teams have been doing to Caden, like they've been letting him shoot because they know he can't shoot right now.
Yeah.
So they've been letting him shoot. But he also has good solid players around him. I mean, Peyton, we saw the first game with him. He's got 64 points, 17 rebounds, 9 assists, 9 blocks. That's leading in the league out of a guard. I think that's a great duo. I love that duo. That kind of gives me like I'm trying to think like Blake Griffin and Chris Paul vibes.
Oh yeah.
I like that vibe.
Yeah.
And they also have like Quinn been balling out this year. Grayson balling out. Quinn's 21 points, Grayson's 17. And they also got a big trade piece in Preston, who I think Preston's going to be solid for that team.
Preston, the whole time that he played in that last game, did not turn the ball over one time. He was driving and kicking and finding his teammates and playing good defense. They were getting beat some of the time, but like I was really pleased to see him take care of the ball and handle the ball.
Right. Preston's a guy that I think he's only played 2 games in the league. He has 9 points, 3 rebounds. He's a little smaller because he's younger, but he's a guy that could run your offense for you. And when he throws in the next like year or so, like he's gonna be a solid piece. Like I would compare him to like a Peyton Casto, honestly. Like I think they have similar qualities, so I think he'll be really good. And they also have Bailey, who's in my opinion one of the most underrated defenders in the league. So they got a pretty solid team as they're coming in at 5-3 record right now. And then lastly, we have my team right now, 7-1 on the season.
But look at the spread.
It's spread out. Thomas, 53 points. Skyler, 18 points. Aiden doesn't score a lot, but he hustles and he plays good defense. 2 points. Devin, 50. Braylon, 40. Dominic, 16 points. And like the defense, you can see Thomas, 10 steals. Braylon, 12 steals. Dom.
You know, your team reminds me of
7 steals.
This year's Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ooh, I like that.
They got plenty of pieces and plenty of guys scoring. It's not just a 1 or 2 man show.
Right, and like I just love like it's just like spread all out. Like you got guys like Thomas. Thomas, his 3-ball hasn't necessarily been automatic this year, but he can get to the hoop.
He's been getting the hoop a lot better.
Braylon, 3-point contest champion, which we'll get to here in a minute, can score from outside.
He's been hitting a lot of threes too.
Devin, defensive monster inside. Dom, defensive monster on the outside.
Dom was such a surprise.
Dude, I know.
He was such a surprise.
And he can shoot a little bit. He
gets steals and finishes his layups, and he can even knock down a little short jumper every once in a while. But he's just high energy. He's motor. He's constantly going.
Right. And I don't think I have him on here actually, but Jackson Seiler on this team as well.
He might have missed like 1 or 2 shots the whole first game. Like he was balling out.
This team has such a bright future, and like Skyler can knock the threes down. I'm excited. Like I don't see myself making much moves unless somebody gets stolen from me.
Yeah.
Now, this is a big talk around the league with the steals. Would you care to give any insight to some players that you could possibly be looking at, or would you like to save that info?
I will save that info.
Okay, that's fair. But I want to know. Give the people what they want, Gibson. Can you give us at least one name that you have your eye on?
I think I definitely...
Or who's somebody that you would like to see on your team next year, whether it's a trade or a steal?
Probably Gavin.
You want to get Gavin?
Probably Gavin, yeah.
Now, question. Do you think you could ever get that to happen?
Probably not. If their GM's smart enough, they'll save Gavin. But they also would have to save Casto.
Oh, yeah. This is where I like the league because it's so competitive right now. Like, GMs are going to struggle to figure out who to save. So it's going to be...
I think the way your team plays, like how it's all spread out like that, the ball doesn't stick to anybody. It's not... There's no ball hogs in your team. Like, I think most teams need to strive to be more like that and not just get 1 or 2 really good players and then everybody else, nobody else.
It's solid.
Doing
like we don't have... I don't consider we have a weak link on our team at all. It's like everybody's solid. And like I don't think there's a weak link in the league either. It's more of a fit thing. Like you fit with certain players.
I might try to steal my boy Aiden McElroy. That's a glue guy, man.
That is a glue guy. But I give him like a Draymond Green.
That's what I mean.
He's a Draymond. I like that. But let's move on to the first time in Point League history we had All-Star Weekend. Now, you weren't able to be there with us, but you kind of got the rundown a little bit. So if you weren't there, we had some big competitions. Our first one was the Team Challenge, and your team, the Rhino Squad, ended up taking that one home with Ollie and Jack. So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm proud of them. I'm proud of my guys. I knew we have a solid team, and yeah, Ollie and Jack are definitely guys that come off the bench more. But I mean, Ollie, I coached him for 5th grade basketball, and Ollie is a good basketball player, and Jack is getting better every single season that we play.
Right. I would agree. And
still leads the league in most trades. But
yes, he does. I'm
not trading you.
He's looking for his 20th.
I'm not trading you, Jack.
But moving to the Skills Challenge, you did call the winner for this. It was Peyton Casto coming away with the dub there, and he said, after the post-game interview, he said, light work, it's what's expected type of vibes from him. So
hey, crafty Casto.
I will say, it was all bigs that were winning the challenge, actually. So I think Jack was the first one to win. Then Nathan, Caden beat Cole, and then Casto beat Walker. But Casto, so it was a relay race. You had to go through cones, layup, cones again, pass, and then finish on a 3-point shot. Every 3-point shot he made first try. So he dominated that. And then moving on to the 3-point contest, which we talked about earlier, Braylon Stein ended up beating Carter West in the finals.
I'm not surprised that those were the two in the finals at all.
Some of the players, Skylar said he was struggling a little bit because he was expecting the little hoops, but I think he still did good. Grayson also balled out. Liam got pretty hot in the beginning, but kind of fizzled out. I think the having to bend down and get the ball and using their legs more was really, I think it was a factor for him. But Braylon,
did they have a time limit?
Yes, they had the only one that didn't finish the rack was Skylar. Okay. He got to the last one, but I think he finished with like 5 or 6 points. But Braylon, he hit our first ever Mountain Dew ball, which is pretty deep out there. He banked it in, but I think he had a high score of 11 in the first round, so he ended up beating Carter. But moving on to the dunk contest. Wow, is all I have to say. It was.
I saw some clips.
Yeah, you saw that boy Gavin, but you would be surprised he didn't win.
Yeah.
In my opinion, looking at the dunk contest, Gavin was clearly the favorite. Some sleepers, Casto made it to the final 3, which was surprising. Brevin was the first one out. They struggled to get their dunks all in so they had 3 tries to get it. Brevin got a good dunk first, but then he missed all 3 of his next ones, so he got the minimum score of 5. Xavier with the same thing. Xavier was almost out in the first round. It went to a dunk off for the final spot between Casto and Xavier. Xavier got it. Now, you saw the clip of Gavin dunking over the 3 kids, right?
Yeah.
So I think Gavin could have won that dunk contest if he would have saved that for the last one.
So what you're saying is Gavin was like Aaron Gordon.
Yes. A lot of people say it was rigged. I was a judge. I was giving him fair. Some of the dunks I judged off of had to be creative. And like for instance, Devin, great dunker. Just some of his dunks I've seen before, so I didn't he's an in-game dunker. He's an in-game dunker. I don't know if the dunk contest was...
Casto is too. Casto is more of an in-game
dunker.
He's crafty, though.
He did get a little crafty. He had a nice one where he jumped up, pinned it off the glass, and then dunked it. Yep. Stole that one from a dunk contest member in the NBA, but it was just good vibes throughout the whole day. It was good maximum fun. Effort.
All-star stuff's always fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and All-Star game, pretty competitive too. I actually got to sub in and play for a minute for my team. I didn't get any buckets, but I did my thing out there. I lasted about 1 minute, and I needed to sub because I was just those boys are they're good out there.
They're built different.
They are built different. But as always, we're gonna end this episode here. Any closing remarks? Who's top 3 MVP candidates right now?
I think you got to go probably Gavin, Casto, and probably third one might be
Brevin.
Yeah, Brevin. If you're going
team wise, most valuable to their team.
Yeah, I think a sleeper one you could throw in there, Braylon Stein maybe.
You think? Yeah. Now I will say, I heard a little bird the other day. Braylon. Apparently, you have your eye on Braylon.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, man. I hate this job sometimes. Early prediction for most improved player.
Most improved?
I'm going Nathan. Nathan or Quinn?
I think I got to go Quinn.
I don't know.
Quinn is a completely different player.
His confidence skyrocketed. Yeah. I think it's with that team. I think he gels well with them.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it. If you guys have any comments, anything that you want the league to do, any changes, maybe some new contests for All-Star Weekend, anything like that, new formulas or how we do stuff in the playoffs, let us know. We talked about possibly doing playoffs first team to 21 to make it a little bit more competitive.
Ooh,
kind of like an Elam ending or whatever that is.
I like that.
We just have to see what the time limit looks like. But that's going to do it. As always, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for coming on the podcast again, and we will catch you next time, and good luck in the last week of the regular season.
Go crazy. Bro, pass me the rock. I've been moving out the box. Top speed going top. 101 going pop. Getting hot, hot, hot. In the paint, never flop. At the rim like who? Get the crown like Braun. Yeah. Making some and I'm spending some. What's the plan? Bet I get it done. It's me.